his party lost, and he came on a TV station to say, yes, I decided to do it. I even told the president before doing it. I've never seen anything like that.
All right, and finally, as workers eagerly await announcement of the new minimum wage, organized labor appears unyielding in its demand for 615,000 naira after rejecting the proposal of 48,000 naira from government and 54,000 naira from organized private sector. Ahead of the meeting with the tripartite committee, labor leaders told government to perish the idea of offering 100,000 naira as the new minimum wage. Organized labor also asked government to be serious with their negotiations, as it is expected to raise the bars of their proposal during negotiation. Femi, but from this side, 615,000 naira, and from that side, 48,000 naira.
I think the most bad thing is for them to find a middle ground. You know, the federal government will always tell us that the economy as we have it is not that buoyant. They will tell us that they inherited a very bad economy, and then they are putting a lot of things in place to ensure that the economy gets back on its feet, and would want labor to show understanding. But labor too will tell you that, well, what their demands are a reflection of
reality.
Yeah, the realities on ground, what the people are talking about, the inflation and all of that. Yes, the inflation, you know, the prices of electricity, band A has gone up for those who are on band A, and those who are band S not even 20 hours a day. Yes, those who do not even have bands cannot even get electricity to power their small businesses and all of that. So it's really a tight rope to walk for both the federal government and indeed organized labor. So it's going to be interesting to see how, if the federal government will budge and maybe move up a bit, and labor, you know, of course, they raised the bar to 615. We know that it's just for them to see somewhere that the federal government will be able to feel comfortable with providing that amount as minimum wage, maybe 200,000.
Jude, I'm not comfortable with the two proposals on ground. 615,000 and 48,000 naira sounding ridiculous to me.
Yes, for me too, I don't see how the government can pay that kind of money, and I'm sure in their hearts they know that 615,000 minimum wage. Some states have still not paid 30. Remember what happened now when NLC appealed to the governor of Abia State to please pay 30.
Yes,
the old minimum wage.
The old minimum wage.
Some states are still paying
that 18,000.
What some states are still paying.
Yes.
Now, the consequential awards, every minimum wage ensures that even the people on level 16, level 17, that the minimum wage is not about. The minimum wage is usually about level 1 to 7 max. They all get some money on top of their salary. Everybody will get
consequential adjustments.
Yes, everybody will get, because if they don't give people, those juniors will end up earning the same salary as their seniors.
Yes.
So you move
so
everybody. So, but it's by percentage. For example, the highest earning people in the civil service, they will get the lowest percentage in the consequential adjustment. They can say, okay, we give you 4% of your salary, or, you know, because you are level 17.
Yes.
As you go down, the percentage goes up.
Yes.
You understand? So it's not, we can't be looking at 615 alone. The consequence of paying 615 will be so huge.
That means that telling level 01, 615 up.
Yes. And you must adjust everybody's salary.
Yes.
So that they don't meet them.
No.
So 615 is unreasonable. Nobody will pay. They can call me names because I'm saying this.
Who will pay?
But nobody will pay. Now, the chairman of the negotiating committee has already said, Labour, be prepared to shift ground.
Okay.
Because the federal government too, that is representing even subnationals, is prepared to shift ground. Look at what we had the last time they met. The government said it will pay 58,000. Organized private sector said it will pay 54. How do you get a man? And I doubt if the NLC president can pay his lowest earning personal staff as much as 618,000. He cannot pay it. That means your security man in your house, that's what you earn.
680.
Your gardener, that's what you earn.
Minimum wage.
Minimum wage. Because it's supposed to be backed by law.
Yeah.
Can we come up with a law that says everybody, the lowest earning person in the civil service must earn 615,000? TUC actually came up with a moderated salary of 400, I think 400,000. By the time they met with Ajero and his group, they said, okay, we are harmonized. We too, we are going for 615. It can't work now. It can't work.
Tell me, 100,000 naira, how realistic is this?
Well, that's for the...
Already they've rejected 100,000 naira.
Yeah, they've rejected 100,000 naira. But you know, that is what is presented by the federal government. Maybe the federal government too might shift grant if it looks inward, looks at its pulse, looks at the projections.
Do you see some states paying 100,000 naira, having that ability, because it's not about federal government alone now.
Well,
there are some very poor states.
Understandably, there are some very poor states, but also resources allocations going to states have also increased recently. Not all of them would want to openly admit that they are getting more monies now.
Removal of subsidy.
Yeah, it's just for everyone to come clean and say, see, this is what I can pay. Open your books. This is what comes in. This is how much we get as revenue and all of that. And based on all of these calculations, this is what we can afford as a minimum wage. If we have that understanding, and indeed if the labor unions in their state also are on the same page with them, then there will be no need for the back and forth.
Looking at what a bag of rice is saying now, when you go to markets, do you know that it's very difficult for anybody to go to the market with 20,000 naira, and if you're a family person and you bring something appreciable home with 20,000 naira right now?
I believe our minimum wage should be able to buy 2 bags of rice at least. If you can't buy,
what are we doing now?
If you can't buy
30,000.
The minimum wage, 30,000 minimum wage, cannot buy a bag of rice. And I'm saying that
a bag of rice is like 70,000 now.
No. It's well, it depends on where you are buying from, the brand.
Okay.
There are some Nigerian made rice, especially brands like Bull. They are far costlier than others. When you even go into a department store or a mall, you see the different brands, the same kg, but they cost more than one another. So it's difficult to benchmark to say this is the average price. It's difficult. But I'm saying that it should be able to buy, the minimum wage should be able to buy 2 bags of rice. So let's even say rice is around 60k. The minimum wage should be able to buy 2 bags. That's like 120,000 naira. Wow. That is my view. 2 bags of rice. Let's say a bag of rice on the average is 60k. So at least 120,000.
Okay, let's take our last caller. Adekule is calling us from Abuja. Thank you, Kule.
Yeah.
Thank you for waiting.
Good afternoon, Mr. Mr. Ambassador, good afternoon. Thanks for all you do. Let me quickly say something about this appointment of a change. You know, when Mr. Ambassador was saying the other time, was talking about PNB. People can actually forgive PNB because we all agree that it's not the politician. But may I tell you one thing, that will be punished if we didn't address it, because everybody believes that Bat is a politician and he knows the game. So if he continues with this, people will intentionally punish him for that because they believe that he did it to them intentionally. And to come to think of it, President Bad appointed his people as chief of staff. The private secretary also, I think, Kola, is also his own person. So let's assume that President doesn't know what is going on. Are we saying that these people also cannot sit down and do what is going to be beneficial to President Bad, that is not going to tarnish his image as a politician? I don't want to believe that in this.
Thank you, thank you for your contribution. So, Femi, looking at this, who is going to move? Who will shift ground?
I think both of them will shift ground. I may be wrong, but I believe both of them should be flexible and ready to shift ground. Labour would have to shift more to come to reality with what is obtainable, what the federal government can afford based on what they have in their coffers.
Julia?
As I said,
2 times the minimum wage.
yes, the minimum wage should be able to buy two bags of rice.
2 bags of rice,
And,
120, 130.
On the average now, maybe 60, 65 a bag of rice.
Okay,
So I'm not talking about the Bull brand that is much more expensive and all that. So
Above 100,000.
above 100,000, maybe 120, 150,
Okay.
or maximum 150.
All right. I want to thank you, Femi Akonde. Thank you for your contribution. And the maestro himself, Babajide Kolade Otitoju. Thank you for always being there.
Thank you.
Yeah. And that's our offering today. Join us tomorrow for another episode of the program. You can watch the repeat broadcast tonight.